Where did it all begin? Why are we here? Who are we? Where do we come from? What does it all mean?
Hello everybody. Here's a nice picture. Okay, I'm gonna start this live stream and gonna start this right here and say, well, this is the first notice in my city, and I don't know how many more we're gonna see, but all right, well, I don't know. Moving on, so I've seen this a bunch of times, and at first glance it looks like a marble stairway built into a shithole, or it looks like a marble stairway that may have been there and then this shitty place was built around it. But in actuality, it's not marble at all. It's some kind of, it almost feels like bathtub material, But it looks strange, right? You gotta be careful, because when you don't do boots on the ground sort of stuff, I guess my point is, if you're looking at the internet and you're deciding what you see without actually being there, it's difficult to analyze what you're seeing. So I just wanted to, a couple times I walked by here and I said, oh my goodness, a marble staircase in the middle of like a shithole, right? But it's not that at all. This stairwell is a piece of junk, just like the rest of the building. Okay, so just be careful, when you're out there. If you have what would the word be? I was gonna make a video. This is going on the same thing. I was gonna make a video about this staircase, but I'm glad I went over there first, because had I said something, I would have to make a correction video, right? So my point is that I probably already said it. Anyway, here's the next thing. This, well, we can see what this is, and this is actual marble. This thing here that our buddy Lincoln's on. This is a statue at the library, and that is marble. And the reason why I wanted to take the picture of it is because the stairs in this look the same, but they're not the same at all. So if we move up here, Abe seems to be in the middle of a Earth star. It's just peculiar. I think that's cool that they did that, but I wonder why they did that. What's funny about it too is that these don't line up with these right there in the middle of each one. This is a real this is a really specific pattern. you know? It's cool. Now we're gonna move on to this. It's very interesting because this box near the entrance of the public library, just giving you a context of where this thing is. And I tell you what, it must be old, because just read that. And I want to take a picture of it because I put it in a video because it's really cool, and someday it's going to be gone, right? But how old is this? If this is, I mean, when have you ever seen this? They don't give us anything for free, right? Play this and see what's up. Yeah, I think I just show the top part. Press that black button and 181. You got either emergency or a free call. Come pick me up at the library. I mean, it's awesome. Imagine the days when this went on. Could they be the days of the trolleys? Could they be the days of that this place wasn't even a library at the time? Yeah, it's really cool and interesting. Tampering with this ballot box is a felony. Unless you're an A-lister. It's a perfect example of why I don't like the world that these, I was gonna say realm, but I love the realm, but I don't like the world that the A-listers have created. Because, you know, if you're a cop or a musician or a judge or a, even, I bet you even if you're a high profile high school athlete, you could tamper with this ballot box, but I couldn't. That's what I mean by an A-lister. An A-lister isn't just a celebrity. For me, an A-lister is anybody who can tell you what to do You know what I'm saying? They're telling us what to do right now. They sure are. Okay, so I just wanted to bitch about that. And look, this is cool, right? I couldn't figure out what this was for years. And today I found out. Watch, I'm gonna go over to this plaque. After I took way too long of shots of it. I don't know if my live stream is being boring or not, but you know. I just went out and captured some stuff for my first live stream. And there you go. Very interesting, right? Well, it's interesting because, like I said, I didn't know. I've seen that thing hundreds, thousands of times, and I didn't know what it was. Now we have these. Are these not some beautiful old world? They're so old that they're on marble. Yeah, they're magnificent. Look at the detail and how they hold the globes and stuff like. And they put this one with the flowers, which is really very nice. I mean, get a load of that, huh? Pretty details. Old world? I don't know. You know, this area has a lot of anomalies, let's put it that way. Well, the thing is that those are made of plastic. Yeah. They look real good, especially from the street. That's why I went down there and got them. Just like the stairs. Anybody driving by would think they knew what that was. But they don't know what that is. And you probably did think. I don't know, it's hard for me to fake, so you might have figured it out, but yeah, that's all I have to say. Those are not what you think they are. It's garbage. They're just junk. I don't need to keep banging on it. They're not real. This has intrigued me for quite some time. Of course, I was just talking about don't pontificate, right? Well, no, that isn't what I was saying. I'm just saying be careful. Go out there and take a walk. But I have taken a walk around this for a long time. This used to have a gate around it. And you'll see the other portion of it that still does. Fence, not a gate. Yeah, a gate. Oh, I can just play this while I talk. So, you know, this is another park, and it has this, and it has electrical boxes there right underground. And where I live, our sidewalks out here have lots of elevators. Of course, they're covered up in steel doors that you can't open, but it's just like this. Is this the underground tunnel? Because for sure, the thing with the pipe over it, of course, there's machinery next to it too. I know I'm flipping around a little bit, but I'm trying to keep up with my own video. I should just stop it. This thing, I don't know, you know, it's a mystery. They don't want you in there. And this used to have a gate around it till they disguised it better. This was different at one time. I'm not going to go into all that. But this place is very intriguing. And of course, because, you know, we have this whole power station, if you will, next to it. This stuff's all underground. This isn't the machine, right? No, it's not the machine. Whatever's going on here it's cool, you know? You get to mysteries of the realm. What's under here? This is the Melagem channel. And she has good content. This particular video, the Condor Clan video, is very insightful. So if you want to be entertained, go over there. I have a question. Yes, I do now. Yes, I do. As you can see up here, it says 1839 Fashion America. So we look, realizing that this is just about the time that the camera was invented. So we look at these fashions and we say, wow. Right? So we go 10 years. 1849. We look at these fashions. then we go to 1859 and we look at these fashions. Look at this guy. $1869. And we look at these fashions. Here's me and my brother. Bet you guys didn't. Oh, it says gay culture. Oh, that's funny. See, that's what you get for doing live stream. Anything can happen, and I just called me and my brother gay. That's awesome.
You're not the first.
Oh, you ain't kidding. That's very funny. Let's get back to this. 1870, so where are we? 1869, right? Another 10 years. 1879. We look at these. I mean, you got to be careful because you punch something in, and then a lot of things come up, and a lot of this could be art school stuff. A lot of this definitely isn't. A lot of this could be, paper dolls and make pretend and all that stuff. Well, maybe the whole history is make pretend and paper dolls, but I think you get what I'm saying. So, yeah, we look at this. Then we go to 1889. Now, again, we started from when the camera was invented in America. And now we look at this fashion for 89. We're almost into the 1900s. Look at this guy. Yeah. 1899. He's got that look in his eye, doesn't he? Some of these people have that look in their eye. If you know what I mean. So, and I picked 1907 because my grandmother was born then. Now look at what she was born here. My grandmother. Do I believe that this is what my grandmother went downtown Brockton looking like? It puzzles me. Because I can tell you right now, I have never seen a picture in my family of anybody who looked like this. Have you? Do you have any pictures of people in your family who look like that? That my grandmother's supposed to look like that. I'm not talking about the face. Don't be silly. You think she was hanging out in the garden with Aunt May and Aunt Wendell like that? In Brockton? See, that's why I put in American fashion. I had to put in male because if you don't, forget it. I don't have to tell you how I search it. I mean, you can see what it says. But I just wonder, anybody out there listening to this stream or comes across this, does your family have people like this in their family? And I'd love to see those photos, because I wonder if the internet has given us these photos and people's families didn't actually look like this. I mean, it's just a pontification, and I got to thinking about it, and I was like, I gotta ask, because I know in my family, We don't have any of this. Who are these people? I wonder if the internet's the only one who has these pictures. I mean, I sort of doubt that, but I saw a video about the dead internet or something. The dead internet theory, and so that's why I'm asking: is the internet telling us people look like this, or do people's families look like this? Yeah, I don't remember anybody quite that fancy either, Skull. I just don't. My grandmother didn't tell me that she used to dress like that. None of the old people ever mentioned this to me, or to my mom, because she would have told me, right? Or she would have had a picture of it, or we would have talked about how elegant people were. I don't know. That shit's only in the movies, right? Talking about that and act, I don't know. It confuses me. Mysteries of the realm, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go on to my next thing here. This is Mine Unveiled channel, and they talk about the old paintings along the same pontification as the New Earth channel does. That these are not paintings, and it's some kind of super technology that our scientists can't get to the bottom of. And of course, I think we have another half-truth here, right, to untangle. So I shall pontificate further on these theories. These cracks and wear on some of the old art reminds me of an ink transfer that's worn out or doesn't adhere anymore due to age, rather than paint pigment applied to a substrate with a stroke of a paintbrush. There could even be some form of screen printing. But the way the narrative is structured, they would have us believe it's more complicated than that. For the sake of conversation, printing has been a modern machine technology since the 1500s, but I believe it's much older and may have been originally steam-powered. See, a steam train and a large multi-unit press are essentially the same machine. One moves on its wheels, and one moves a substrate through it on cylinders. See, they both come to the same mechanical conclusion. You just reverse the mechanical process, and it can either move or move stuff through it. It's brilliant. So there's no paint strokes from a brush or a tool mark because there's no paint. It's 1 micron or less of chemical ink layered to complete a dot matrix of color, and the tool used to manufacture this is a CMYK offset lithograph, similar to the ones we use every day here in our realm right now. See, I don't like calling this stuff paintings because they don't feel like paintings. It's printing of some kind of alchemical procedure, but it's not magic, not in this instance anyway. These were created with an advanced machinery. Maybe a little more advanced than what we use now. I'll explain. We all realize by now that there was technology and machines available for everything you wanted to manufacture then, just like now. I personally don't believe in the primitive man theory, but that's a whole nother video. The old world's process was more advanced and has a more elegant end result than our printing technology today. The end result of our printing process is called a dot matrix. You need certain printing tools to see and read the matrix trap up close, so it can be manipulated inside the printing press. The mysterious thing to me is that the alchemical process that the lithograph machine of the old world uses to transfer images into a matrix so that the CMYK process can duplicate the original is not the same as our printing presses today, or at least from the late 17 to 1800s. A couple of reasons for this would be I suspect that the old world's ink alchemy is a different chemical from what we use today. And the reason I say this is because ink has gone through a lot of different chemical changes, right? It used to be carbon-based in the 3rd century. It was oil-based by the 1400s. We've used oil-based inks up until the 1990s. Then it turned into soya or seed or vegetable oil-based. I suspect that the further you go back, the more organic the ink was. So one of the processes with the lithograph is that it uses water. And we know that the old world worshipped water, flowing through the cities and towns and the earth stars as a lifeline and a technology for various reasons that are still a mystery today. Now here's the thing, different water, different outcome of everything that it interacts with or is made with. That makes sense, right? The old world dot matrix could be far beyond our current capability, even beyond nanotechnology. Who's to say? I'm just pontificating. And one other thing that comes to mind is the blanket that transfers the offset image is not the same material from back in the old days. Whatever they use to carry the dot matrix to its final media, whether it's paper, plastic, cardboard, or canvas, is going to make a huge difference in how elegant the finished printing looks. Now, I'm not talking about how well the overall picture looks. I mean literally how well the ink was layered down, layer by layer, how the actual machine process takes effect. I hope this is making sense, but I don't want to give you a big video about how the printing process is done because, it would be 4 videos long. Fact of the matter is there's certain things that we use, water, blankets, aluminum plates, it depends. And all these materials can be substituted for other materials. I hope that makes sense. This is a huge machine that we're talking about here, right? It takes like 5 guys to run it. Sometimes 7, sometimes 12. It depends on whether you're running an M1000 or a 420. It's a whole industry that's been around since before the 1400s. And now we get to the energy flow, right? The energy flow or current and how it was delivered to the cities, towns, and then to the factories and machines of the old world was different in some way, right? We all can agree on that. So all the outcomes of something that needs energy to produce it is going to be different. And last but not least, in recent years, we have computer programs that run the printing process. More than likely, the old world had an automated system that was as good or superior to the one we've implemented. The programmers want us to believe that these works of art have no brushstrokes and no matrix, but that's just impossible. As far as the matrix concerned, yeah, the brushes I get, but having no matrix, see the thing with that is to exist here for us marble people, it needs a binding matrix or a media that our eyes can encode or decode. So for me, the narrative is either hiding the matrix that the image is made up of, or they are hiding the old world process that can produce this. A printing press is a marvel of electricity and compressed air, perfectly synced so that there's no deviation in speed of the engine and transmission that can run a 35-ton printing press that duplicates pictures the size of a Mona Lisa at about 48,000 impressions an hour. And honestly, that's not even a high-tech press. In my opinion, it's just like the trains, the airships, the planes, the steamboats. People don't realize that the printing press is one of those ancient techs that the controllers pretend that the marble people invented, like Benjamin Franklin, right? But no. That's where I'm saying there's a half-truth to all this. I'd say personally that the printing machine tech was found or inherited. And I don't want you to think that I've solved anything, or I'm even talking about all this kind of art across the board. But the wear patterns on some of these point to a different tech than the narrative is claiming. To me, this looks like a printed brochure or menu that got folded up and left in a glove box for an extended period of time. Now let's leave the printing for a second to rant about painting. Let me point out something here. See, this is garbage. I don't know who did this, but this painting has been tampered with, something awful. Only an amateur paints the background after they do the principal. Or to put it another way, if the foreground is painted before the background, you end up with a messy background because you are trying not to paint over your foreground or your principal of the piece, right? I know people who think they can paint. And even though they don't consider themselves amateurs, the fact that they don't start with a background or a scenery in a painting tells me that they didn't plan out the painting. They only had the foreground in mind. Now They are stuck fixing the painting, trying to work the background into the foreground that is already done. And the result of this mistake is chicken scratch. This is a perfect example of that bad habit technique. Now, I do believe that this had its background removed, but it exhibits the same flawed style of the amateur because the foreground was there, and then the counterfeiters washed out the original background and then tried to put another one back in, and they ended up with a mess. I will point out that the author of this video does make the pontification that these works are some kind of substance that can be manipulated by a mental process in which the image within the mind of the viewer could be transferred to a medium or a substrate. And I think that's as good a theory as any. My opinion of who the civilization was? Like which time? You know, because I think I alluded to it before in that thing. I don't know if the American Indians are real. Yeah, I've met Indians. I lived on the East Coast. I met people who believed they were Indians. I've lived from the East Coast to the West Coast, and I've met Indians. But they don't seem to know where the buildings came from. They don't seem to know where the machines came from. What would you call those? The pneumatic tube trains came from. So it's a great question, and anybody's. The Nephilim. Well, I don't know. In my opinion, when you say Nephilim, I guess I only conjure up because of the narrative, you know, only because of the narrative. But I conjure up the celebrities. I mean, I think they're. I don't know why I think that, but I attach Nephilim because of course I have this whole thing with the races aren't just descendants, maybe, yeah. The races aren't just color and eye shape. We have lots of different races here. I don't know if they're humans. Maybe we're the humans and they're not. Like, because we live we're surrounded by races all around. They come in from the different lands and they either fly their blimps or their UFOs or their flying saucers or their ships or their boats or their vessels or their pneumatic trains, and they come over to this land and they do whatever they want to us because obviously someone pointed us out and said, if you want to be a bully, go over there. They love getting treated like garbage. It seems like all the races that are sort of powerful are mean and ugly. You know, where's all the powerful good races? They don't want to come here? Isn't that... I feel kind of sad because of that. All the power is evil. Where's all the good? Where's all the good? Where's all the good giants? Where's all the good cops? Where's all the good politicians? We got plenty of bad ones, and if like I said, if they're coming in from a different realm, then how come the good isn't coming in from another realm? And how come we don't get to see that good? How come it's invisible? The bad certainly isn't invisible. Just look at the newest rap video, or this mumble crap, or whatever you want to call it. It's obviously supposed to look, or even, you know, I don't want to single that out. There's everybody from you know, Wasp to Pink Floyd that have influence, right? And it's just sad that most of the things that aren't good for us are really pushed and really tolerated. So anyway, I hope I didn't rant too much on you there. But you know, you asked the question, and it's a loaded question. Thanks for asking. I mean, I would ask you what you think, but you'd have to write this whole long thing. Because if I had to write that out, I wouldn't have bothered discussing it.
That's why you want to do Discord.
That's why I went to Discord, yeah, because you can hook up a mic and talk till your jaw falls off. But, you know, you'd have to download Discord and all that. So anyway. Yeah, Skull. Okay, two things I want to address. Stand up. Here's the thing. We're standing up against them, in my opinion. I mean, you know, we're just talking, right? Yeah, I watch a lot of videos with these people in the streets, right? There's been a lot of that. Yeah, Discord's cool. It seems overwhelming or like intimidating, if that's the word you want to use, but it's not. I was messing with it and didn't really know what to do, and my brother came downstairs and hit 2 buttons, and there I was. I was like, oh, that's all? He's like, yeah, it looks crazy, but it's just this. So I mean, that's with a lot of things. Once you know, like printing. People look at those paintings or those artworks and say, how did they ever do? Look, it's just technology. Look, the Giants still needed that technology to make those pictures, right? In my opinion, Mona Lisa's a giant. She comes from that place. So the Giants could build lots of cool, you know, I think they had technology. As far as Flat Earth Brothers channel, I'll have to check that out. Skull, are you saying pure speculation because that you're saying that Giants didn't need technology? That's speculation. And what I said was speculation too. Let's not get, I don't think I know anything. I had a tongue and a brain. Man, that can get you in plenty of trouble. Mona, ain't a she? Well, again, I have a thing with that. That's just androgyny. There's no, like, again, with all the A-listers and stuff and the Mona Lisa and the Nephilim and stuff, I think it's just androgyny. And like if a role comes up that the A-listers and the government and the military and the CIA, and they need someone to play that role, they'll just switch their gender to whatever it needs to be, as long as they get the right character. They'll just, you know, it's like you know, Sesame Street when I was little had Muppets, and Muppets would be a basic character and then get stuff put all over them to look like a different character, like Guy Smiley. He used a few different puppets, right? He's a Muppet. So you can do this with them. I want to get back to the thing about, look, I see a lot of this stuff on the internet with the people, and I watch them let the police arrest somebody. I don't understand that. One of the things is people are afraid to get hurt. It's simple as that. You know, people are afraid to get hurt physically. Have you ever boxed or played hockey? Then you know, if you're going to war, everyone has a plan till they get punched in the face, right? And the cops and the people who are putting us under this umbrella, closing the dome, so to speak, They're organized. The people aren't organized. There's nothing we can do against them. It doesn't matter how many people. If you're disorganized, you're not going to win. I've seen this in sports hundreds of times. You know, we got a better team. Well, that's fine. But the team that's super organized is going to be the winner. So, that's just my thing about it. And of course, they set it up so that if you hurt an A-lister, and as I said earlier in the video, an A-lister is anybody who doesn't get in trouble for hurting the Marvel people. Oh, so you know then, if you're going to go to war, you're going to get hurt. It isn't going to be you winning the fight. You lose anyway. Every time I played hockey, I realized that no matter how many goals were scored, I still lost. Because I had to get up in the morning, you know, broken. Anyway, the idea is that what I'm saying, if you hurt an A-lister, they can make it so you'll never be seen again. I'm talking about even if you slap a cop. Like, try slapping a cop. You think you'll ever see the light of day again? This is one of the main things that people don't dare to, because... So, this guy will stand up on a soapbox and say, let's go do it. Okay. Everybody gets behind him until it's time to do it. And they all keep pushing. We'll do it, we'll do it. He ends up doing it. And then everybody takes 2 steps back while he gets pummeled. Nobody's going to do it. One guy might do it, and they'll all let him fall for it. Because they'll be like, I didn't have anything to do with it. He was the one. Oh, yeah. You got the guy, leave us alone. You know, not to go on a big thing, but I think we've all been in high school, right? And this went down a lot. Oh, 6 years they'd be walking down the hill. We're going to kick their ass. One guy gets his ass kicked. Because the rest of them go, oh, I didn't come here to fight. And a few times it was me. That's why I know. You know, I got my ass kicked. Because I was going to be the tough guy and really do it, right? Wrong. Bad idea. The people, they told me they'd be behind me. Yeah, they got behind me, a few feet behind me. They didn't throw fists with me, right? Yeah, most people are cowards. Yeah. Well, it isn't just cowardly. I don't think. You know, I don't mean to seem like I don't agree with you. Oh, I agree. People are cowards and stuff, but there has a lot more to do with. I mean, I wouldn't call someone who doesn't want to go to jail a coward. I mean, I don't steal because I don't want to go to jail. Does that make me a coward? No, that makes me follow the rules, right? Hitting a cop, you know, most of them need a good swift kick in the ass, but nobody's going to do it. Yeah, we're not organized. We're never going to be organized. People can't get organized. You know, the police and the SWAT and all the people who are going to come take us away for our vax, they're all... At this point, this video is probably going to get taken down because we're talking about all this stuff, but that's fine. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, us regular people, we haven't done the drill 100 times, 1,000 times. That's why even the people are like, cops are dumb, they don't know shit, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter whether they're dumb or not. They have been through the same scenario over and over and over again. I know people don't think that the cops don't train and and they don't have a system, and they want to make it look like that way on the outside, so you think they're dumb. I know they're not dumb. I see them come over here with their helicopters and their SUVs. When they're chasing somebody, or given a vehicle pursuit, they know exactly what they're doing. And they always get it so that they just close in. One of the things about the preppers is, I've thought about this a lot. One of the things about the preppers is that wherever you're prepping, that might not be where you are when it goes down. People are always like, I'll protect everything I have. I'll go down in a blaze of glory. You might not be home. You might be sitting in your truck when it goes down, and the cops will rip you out of that. You don't have your rifle. You don't have your booby traps. You don't have your food. You don't have the right clothes. You didn't put on your killing boots, so to speak, right? You got surprised. And that's how this stuff works. The police and the SWAT and all the people who want to put us in jail for not vaccinating, they're going to surprise you. They're not going to let you have a fight with them. That makes sense, right? They're not going to. They know who has the guns. That's another whole thing. That goes with what I'm saying. They know who is going to be a problem. And they're not going to announce that they're coming. You're not going to be ready. Yeah, I get it. A few will be taken out. But the majority of the people who think they're going to stand and fight, they're never going to get the chance. They're never going to get the chance. They're not going to get the chance. I don't think I'm getting the chance. I know that I'll be. It's just, the whole prepping thing, that's a tough thing, because okay, if you're held up in your house when SWAT comes down the street, and hopefully they arrest everyone but you, there's a Twilight Zone of some aliens that get a neighborhood to infight. So they infight, and they start hating on each other, and they start, well, what do you think? Yeah, things get really bad. So at the end of the episode, the Martians, the aliens, whatever they call them, I don't like any of those words, but they just basically, their motto is one neighborhood at a time. If you get 4 neighbors fighting, you got the whole neighborhood going off after each other, right? And that's what they got us doing. I mean, look, they even got us, man, I'm going way off and I'm not even showing any pictures. This must be boring as hell. But they even got males and females hating on each other. It's bizarre. I'm old. Men and women are supposed to like each other. That's what we do. Yeah, but not taken out by us people so that we could teach them a lesson and hang them from the street lights like we should, right? Right? I know what you're saying, Scott. Yeah. Skull, I'm glad you feel that way. That's a fun night tonight. Yeah, we're in a load of trouble. I really don't know how bad this is going to get, because once 7 guys hold me down and make me do whatever. I mean, I don't know if it'll come to that. Well, they might take the video down, but they don't. I don't think they'll ban my channel. I have to have a warning and stuff. But Yeah, we're getting into some deep stuff. Anyway, just talking about being tough. Being tough ain't gonna really get you through this. I'm talking about like physically fighting tough. No. And the other thing with all of this is that where can any of us marble people hide? The only people that can hide are the people who can jump back out and steal everything. I mean, they have a monopoly on this, and they may even know that it's happening. One of the things I think about our realm is that a lot of things happen from within the sky, and the controllers pretend that they did it. Like, we'll see something in the sky and they'll be like, oh yeah, we had a failed rocket. They don't even care if they have to say that the experiment was a failure, as long as they get to take credit for whatever the creator does. Does that make sense? Like, they love to do that. They love to make it look like they're brilliant. We discovered it. We did it. The only things they discover is stuff like Uranus, so they can mock us, right? Oof. I don't know if you've seen that video, but it's a little joke. What do you mean that's how they run their experiment? I'm sure everything is on a ley line. I mean, if you draw it out with mechanical drawing tools, it's probably right under our nose. The thing about talking about that stuff, like the counterfeiting, is it's speculation, and I can understand where some people would get, because I know some people who, when I say, hey, what do you think? Maybe it's alternative and it's like this, blah blah blah. Who the fuck cares? It's like, oh yeah, that's true. All that pontification shit doesn't mean anything. That's fine. It's just basically a radio show. But I played the video. Oh, Lost in Tartar Sauce was here. Other anomalies. Well, the Bermuda Triangle, I think that the Alphabet Boys just commandeered that and started talking shit about it. And that way everyone would stay away from it. I think Skull said it the other night. Everything is just some kind of scripted story. The Bermuda Triangle figures it has to be a triangle. Can't be a circle or a square or a diamond or or a figure eight or anything. It's got to be a triangle, right? Always the same crap. Yeah, I agree, Skull. As far as they put kernels of truth in. It's just kind of like what I think about the celebrity world too. The other race, the androgyny race. I think there's 2% humans in there so that they can get away with it. You don't want everyone to be. They have to let a few humans in. A lot of people would think that that's not true, and I've even argued. I've had people argue with me about it. No, definitely there might be even 5 or 20%. They might be smarter than we think, and they have it down to a perfect ratio. Anyhow, like I say, thanks for joining. Yes, you will catch me live again, because I will be here live again sometime, because I am alive, and if I'm not alive, I won't be live. Goodbye, everybody.
Where did it all begin? Why are we here? Who are we? Where do we come from? What does it all mean?